Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 7. This is the video lesson for this week. Um, I hope you've all had a chance to keep up with the homework because, as you know, there's going to be a unit test very, very soon, and you've got to be ready for that. It's actually next week, week 8. So we should get right to this lesson. So take a look at page 34. Page 34. So as you can see, we're doing Unit 2, Lesson B on page 34. And the first thing you should do is listen to track 1.13 and read along with the textbook. When you finish listening, you can try parts B and C on page 35. Remember, you can listen as many times as you need. So please listen carefully and try these. Stop the video now and start again when you're finished. Okay, we're back. As you could see from the reading and from the listening, we're no longer talking about AI and about robotics. Instead, we're talking about other kinds of technology. In this case, the technology used for the environment in Germany and also in India. Take a look at part B. Let's check. Number 1, the answer is alternative, something that can be used instead of another thing. So instead of fossil fuels, we can always use solar or wind power or something like that, right? Number 2, the answer is fossil fuels. Okay, that's the oil and the gas and the things we take from the earth. Number 3, worldwide, all around the world. Number 4, individual, about one person or about one thing. The next one was innovative. Okay, it's not like renovate. Okay, it's not to make something new again. It's to have something new for the first time. Okay, it's a new idea, a new way of thinking about something. That's innovative. Okay, it's an adjective. Number 6 is carbon. Okay, from science class, you remember it was just C. Okay, and that's the stuff that coal is made of, the fuel, and diamonds too. You probably know that if you take coal or some kind of carbon and you crush it for millions of years under extreme pressure, it turns into a diamond. And the conditions have to be just right, and if they're not, well, you don't get a diamond. And that's why diamonds are rare and very, very valuable. Okay, next one, cut back on. That's another way to say reduce. We're going to cut back on spending, something like that. Number 8 is impact. Okay, in this case, it's a noun. It's not about impacting something, which is not a very good verb. Okay, it's about the impact of something on the environment. Number 9 is gradual. Okay, slowly over time. That's what that means. And the last one was consumes, okay, to use something up. You consume all the paper in the photocopier, something like that, right? Okay, you can try part C for yourself. Don't worry too much about the answers. It's really just for you to find out how much you know about solar power. Hopefully you know a few things. You can see that it's probably valuable to have it on your home. Yeah. Okay, well, let's just move along. Lesson B, listening on page 36. Okay, I want you to listen to track 1.14 and then read page 36 and complete parts A and B. When you're finished all that, you can start the video again. So please stop the video now and try. Okay, we're back. I hope you had a chance to listen many times. It's a little bit technical. Okay, this is what's happening in Baltimore, how they're cleaning up the rivers with Mr. Trash Wheel. Sounds like a funny thing, and I guess it is kind of funny. Anyway, let's check part B. The first one was floating booms, and the answer is B. Okay, these are the things that direct the floating trash towards the forks. And if you look at the picture at the bottom of the page, you see those kind of yellow-brown things kind of sticking out at the front. That's what's kind of catching all the garbage, right? And the garbage comes down the river and comes in between these things and then goes right to the forks, okay? You notice at the very bottom of the page, on the bottom of the picture, it says that these are also called containment booms. And you know the word container, okay, something that holds something else. And a boom is just something, I mean, it's also the sound, boom, right? But it's actually just something that floats on the water. And you'll see these when they're trying to clean up like oil. If there's oil spilled in the water, they'll put these booms all the way around it to keep it from polluting the beach and things like that. So it contains it, right? It holds the garbage in there, okay? Number two, the rotating forks are the things that pick up the trash from the water and it puts it on the conveyor belt, okay? So the answer is D. And you can see those kind of spiky things. They're gonna turn like this and pick up the garbage and put it onto the conveyor belt, okay? Those are forks. Okay, number three, the water wheel. The answer is E. It uses the movement of the river to move the conveyor belt. So you can see the water wheel on the left side of the machine, okay? And that's old technology being used in a new way. So it's using the power of the river to turn the wheel, and the wheel turns the conveyor belt, and that collects the garbage, right? Number four, solar panels. I think you know what those are. They help to turn the wheel, in this case, when it's not, when the river isn't moving quickly, okay? So you can imagine after it rains, the river moves quickly. So maybe it's cloudy out. So that's kind of a good idea, right? To use the water power, right? But you can use the solar power when it's sunny and the river isn't moving as quickly, okay? Good use of solar power, I think. The last one, number five, the answer is C, okay? Dumpsters collect and hold the trash from the conveyor belt. And we have dumpsters here in Japan too. They're just really, really big boxes. You see them at construction sites. They throw all the garbage into there, old pieces of wood or old rocks or bricks and things like that. And then a big truck takes them away. Okay. So it's a kind of an interesting machine, I think. And if we saw it in person, it would look like this, okay? This is Mr. Trash Wheel, the one that's used in Baltimore. And you can see the booms are these kind of orange things in the water in front of it. This one has eyes now, which makes it cute, I guess, for the kids and things. And you can see the water wheel on the left side. In this case, it's probably not turning. It looks like it's kind of, maybe they're not using it right at this moment, okay? Yeah, I don't see any garbage between the booms, so I guess they're not using it right now. And that's kind of a cool device, I think, a very clever one. And here's a great example of it. This is shown from right above, okay? So we're looking down on the river, and you can see the booms going all the way across the river from one side to the other and collecting all this debris, okay? All kinds of garbage. You can see some multicolored things in there. A lot of it is just brown because it's probably wood that's after a storm. You know, wood always floats down the river. If you've ever seen a river anywhere in Japan, after heavy rain, you'll see lots of like wood and sticks and parts of trees and things like that. And you can see it in the water on the right side of the picture. So the booms are doing their job. They're collecting a lot of garbage here that would just flow down the river otherwise. And you can see behind Mr. Trash Wheel, there's very little garbage. So it seems to be working, right? And at the very back of Mr. Trash Wheel, you can see one of the dumpsters is full and it's ready to be taken back to the shore to be thrown away. I think they're going to sort through it and they're going to recycle what they can. Okay, so it seems to be doing its job, right? All right. Is it doing its job? It sure is. It's not just wood. It's not just wood after the rain. All kinds of things show up in the garbage. You can see they've had over 700,000 plastic bags, almost 12 million cigarette butts. And cigarette butts are just the end of the cigarette that you don't smoke with the filter in it, right? Foam containers, okay, that's coffee cups, that's like picnic containers that get blown into the river and things like that. Probably like like not paper plates, but other kinds of plates made of foam, right? And plastic bottles, a lot of PET bottles, over 1 million of them. Sports balls, okay? You ever played tennis and you're not very good, so your ball lands in the river? Well, they collect them, right? 4,600 of them. That's soccer balls and footballs and baseballs and tennis balls all end up in the river. Kegs, one keg, okay? That's a really, really big container of beer, okay? I don't know how that floated down the river, but it happens. And a guitar even, okay? There was a guitar. Again, something that floats and something that they found, which is kind of cool. And the very last thing on this list is a ball python. And if you like reptiles, that's kind of cool because it's a very big snake. Okay, not the kind of snakes you find native around Baltimore. Okay, this would have been somebody's pet snake that escaped, or maybe they just tried to let it go loose in the park or something, and it ended up in the river, ended up in the dumpster maybe. Okay, lots of interesting stuff there. So it seems to be working, right? It's working very well for the city of Baltimore. Okay, back to the textbook. Take a look at page 37. Listen to track 1.15 and do part C, and then listen again and try part D. Please stop the video here. Okay, we're back. Let's check part C, okay? So the first one, number one, what two kinds of energy does the trash wheel use? Well, one of them is water power, right? Because it uses the river, the natural flow of the river to turn the wheel, okay? And the other is solar power. It has solar panels on the top to help turn the conveyor belt even when it's not, even when the river is not moving very quickly, right? So two types of power. Number two, which part of Mr. Trash Wheel is a very old kind of technology? And that's the water wheel. Okay, that's the thing that turns from the movement of the river. Okay, maybe thousands of years now, people have been using water wheels. Okay, number three, what kind of new technology is making people like Mr. Trash Wheel? Why do people like Mr. Trash Wheel? I guess it's kind of cute. But two of the reasons is that they have a live internet feed, okay? You can go to the internet and watch Mr. Trash Wheel do his job, okay? Just moving all day long, picking up the garbage. And social media make people more interested, okay? And if you want to follow Mr. Trash Wheel, you can check it out right here. There it is, okay? He's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, he's on all of these different ways of communicating with people, right? All kinds of social networks, okay? So if you want to know what he's up to, you can check him out there. Part D, let's check that too. Number one, the city takes away the dumpsters when they're full of trash. Okay, now if you said boat, you're probably not really wrong because I think that's how they take away the dumpsters. It's in the middle of a river, so there's no easy way to get to it. You can't drive a truck, right? So they take it away in a boat, but it's the city who's responsible. And when I say city, I don't mean everyone who lives in the city helps to take away the dumpsters. I mean, it's kind of like shie or shiritsu, something like that, okay? So the city takes away the garbage when the dumpsters are full, okay? Number two, Mr. Trash Wheel catches 90% of the trash from the river. And we saw how the booms go across the river and catch everything. So yeah, it's pretty good, 90%. Number three, one kind of trash that is mentioned is soda cans. Um, I never say soda. I always say pop. So if you're in an English-speaking country, you might hear pop, okay? And we're talking about Coke and 7 Up and Sprite and all those bubbly drinks, okay? Carbonated drinks. Um, where I come from in Canada, we always call them pop, okay? But some people call it soda, especially in the US. So if you hear soda or you hear pop or you hear soda pop, it's all the same thing, okay? It's Coke and Pepsi and Sprite and 7 Up and all of those drinks, all right. Number four, people online suggested adding eyes to the trash wheel. And they did it, right? They added eyes, and now it's kind of cute. I'm sure people like to explain it to their kids if you're going for a walk by the river. Oh, there's Mr. Trash Wheel with the big eyes. And number five, several other communities might build trash wheels. Okay, might not be decided yet, but they might have one in the future. Seems like a good idea. I'd kind of like to see it on Sumidagawa, okay, or maybe Arakawa, okay. Put it on the rivers in Japan too. I think it would be a good idea. Okay, so that's all. This was the end of this chapter, this unit. So just remember, the unit test is coming up in week 8. You should study everything that we studied together in unit number 2, okay? So that's part of lesson A, okay? There was vocabulary and listening. And we just did lesson B right now, vocabulary and listening. There's also the movie in between there. And there's also the TOEIC exercises that you should be keeping up with. If you haven't done the TOEIC exercises, you should be working on them right now because they will also be on the test, okay? Week 8, next week. I think that's all for now. So if you like the video, please click like, and just so you don't miss another one, please click subscribe. It's okay if you don't like it. You can give me a thumbs down. That's okay too. And you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. That's all right as well. So I guess that's going to be it for now. I will see you in class and we'll talk about the test. See you then. Goodbye.